What's Morales, Black from the TV? We're back again. You
Hi.
know, hey, as I look back and I think about the episodes I've seen so far, your character represents the realness of what's going on in regards to Sam's background. Obviously there's the superhero stuff, and then there's the part where he has to be grounded for us, the audience, to get what's going on. How do you see it?
Yeah, that's beautifully said. I think, we are all more than just what many people know us as, many facets. And so, and a big part of who we are is our foundation, um, our family, like where we come from, because that has a lot to do with who we are, who we become, who we want to become. And so we're just seeing that in the, with Sam and him coming and him being at home with Sarah and, and his nephews. And so it's just you know, and she's also there to kind of talk to him about, what does it mean for you to be in proximity to the shield? Um, which I think is very realistic because I know I would do that with my brother.
We look at it, and then there's a scene where we're going, obviously, when we see the bank and you see them being denied a loan, and then you start wondering, like, oh, as a superhero, they did, and also Sam was also a military man. So you start wondering, did he not have enough money, and what does Sarah do that they couldn't, that they had to get to a point where they had to get a loan? Was there a story in terms of her background that you looked into?
Yeah, I mean, just like keeping a business afloat, I just think about what many people are going through now. It's like you're just taking it day to day, and I imagine like robbing Peter to pay Paul, or and I think what's special about the Sarah Wilson story and the Sam Wilson story is that she's in a community, so she's not in the void, and so you get the sense that it's very much community that is involved in helping each other out. So I imagine it's like, if she needs to, have somebody watch the kids, go over to so-and-so's house and, I'll be back. Like the community is taking care of each other and just taking it day to day. So I think a lot of that is imbued in the story. Yeah.
Before production started, how much were you given in terms of the comic books? Because you got to know a little bit about Sarah going in there. Did you read it thoroughly? Did you read all of the parts that Sarah was in, or did you have to? We just went with what the script said.
Yeah, thank God for the internet, because and people are breaking down comics characters, and so I just did a deep dive into the internet in terms of like Sarah Wilson, and what's so great are people actually putting excerpts up from the actual comic books about her, and so I got to read as much as I possibly could, and that in combination with all of what was already imbued in the script was enough, and then also the opportunity to ask questions and talk through certain things that maybe weren't necessarily clear for me, and like really fleshing out this world post-blip. Yeah.
You've done projects, you've done theater, but to know that you have your own Marvel page, I don't know if you've seen that already.
No.
How does that make you feel? Like, hey, I've done all of this, and I'm sure you've done bigger roles, whether it's on stage and obviously leading roles. But when you have your own Marvel page, and they basically put in there every time your character does something, how does that make you feel?
It's great. I didn't even know that was a thing. So I'm just sitting here like, again, like I feel like I'm just going with the flow and just taking it moment to moment, and learning about things like that. Like I didn't know that was. I'm not even necessarily connecting that with, oh, me. Like I probably have seen those pages, you know what I mean? Read it for other characters, but you literally just, brought to my attention that, oh yeah, that is a thing for you. And so I don't know, it's pretty cool.
And then as we spoke earlier, you mentioned like, hey, this is one of the first projects where you go in there and you don't get the whole page as far as what's going to go on, whether it be for an episode or for the rest of the series. Is that still the case now that the show has started, that you know where it's going to go all the way to the last episode?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I knew, because you read the scripts and then, everything that's it's happening. And so, but you only know that once you get the scripts, you get the scripts that you're in. So yeah.
And then obviously most of your scenes are with Anthony, so, we can see that there's a chemistry there, how was that when you obviously and you, like you mentioned before, you guys met in passing, probably at different events, but now you're working along his brother and sister. Does that translate off screen?
I'm so happy that people really really feel and feel a chemistry and feel that brother sister relationship. Because again, if it was just so effortless with him, so I didn't necessarily at the time think about it like, oh wow, like this feels. It just was an effortless thing, and so it makes me very very happy that people are feeling that, because that's all we want as actors is to make it feel real. And he comes from a big family, I come from a big family, and so yeah, we're just bringing a lot of that experience in combination with just the rich characters that were already on the page, together to kind of to show up and interact in that way. So it makes me really happy. It's probably the happiest that I can be about this.
And just, besides Wakanda and the world of Wakanda, this series has seen in the episodes that have been shown so far a great deal of Black actors, which is good, and to know that, like, obviously, whether it's the films or the other series, here, through Sam, we get to see other characters, whether it be you or, someone else. And obviously, in a more recent episode, we saw Io from, the world of Wakanda come in, for you as an actress, as we watch TV, we always want to see diversity. Here we have a number of it.
Yeah, in terms of like, there's a number of it. Yeah.
Well, a number of Black talent that's on screen in the Marvel world, and just we've seen other actors in this in this world as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the way things are moving.
Mm-hmm.
As they should be, in all forms. Outside of Black characters and Black actors, it's happening in all the spectrums. And again, we all deserve to see ourselves reflected in all kinds of stories, whether it's drama, documentary, comedy, action, adventure. Yeah, because we all exist and we all love these projects. Like, I've been watching these kinds of movies for a long time, and so I think that's what made something like a Black Panther just so like exciting for people. It's like, yes, I get to go and buy a ticket and see this story of people who look like me. It's a beautiful thing, and it's really important. Never should underestimate the importance of, and we're not, like, we're seeing more and more the importance of seeing ourselves reflected. Yeah.
What goes into the projects you're going to say yes to now? Is it a matter of traveling? Is it a matter of, I'm going to be here for a good minute? What's especially now in terms of like the work, whether it's TV or film, what's going to be the ingredient for you to say yes?
For me, it's always story and character. That's it. I mean, it sounds kind of like, well, what else is there? But it's like that in combination with my gut. That's how it's always been. Once I kind of started to realize that I can actually, that's a distinction that I actually can make. And then also too, like, the people who are involved. It's always nice to work on story and character with people who really are artists in every sense of the word, and are really concerned about creating an environment, an atmosphere that is supportive of artists.
Going back to Sarah, just to go one more time, your character runs a boat. How good are you in real life with fish?
I now know how to make a good, make a mean grilled fish. That's something I actually just learned, like, during Thanksgiving. I was trying to figure out, I was like, how do the Senegalese make fish so well? And I figured it out, to my humbly. But that is about, I am a city girl, true and true. And I'm always like, oh wow, when I'm in nature, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Wow, like, fish in the water. That bad, but yeah, so that, that's what's so great about being an actor, is getting to, like, get on the set. There's an actual boat, and I'm getting to learn about different things, and I'm like, oh wow, this is, yeah, because I don't even think I've ever been on a boat like that ever in my life until I got to work on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Well, can't wait to see you in the next episode and see what goes on in the world of Sarah Wilson. It's good talking to you.
Wilson. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.